Thank you for tuning in to the weekly business roundup. As the Women's Month soars on, we bring you some of the prime content of the business news that happened this week. And the highlights are: Ministry of Trade bans foreign vendors operating without licenses, presence of electric vehicles starting to be felt on Ugandan roads, women tech entrepreneurs lobby for startup capital to reach remote areas. Stay tuned for these and more stories from this week's episode of the Weekly Business Roundup with me, your host, Wadulo, Arnold. Nakasero Market, located in the heart of Kampala city, is the ideal shopping place for a variety of foodstuff for city dwellers. Now, during this season of Lent and Ramadan, one would expect the market to be a beehive of activities. However, this is not the case.
Conveniently located in Kampala's central business district is the Nakasero Market. Since immemorial, this market has ranked top when it comes to shopping of groceries and vegetables. Due to the Lent period for Christians and the Ramadan fasting month and the Ramadan fasting month for the Muslims, prices for foodstuffs, especially groceries and vegetables, have skyrocketed. But why is it so? We find out from the vendors.
They are very expensive. You can find the tomato, you can find the pineapples. Last time they were selling it 3,000, but this time the prices have raised due to high demand. Everyone is using those fruits.
Pawpaws, watermelons and passion fruits are some of the most sought after fruits during this season. However, they are either out of supply or the ones delivered in the market by the suppliers are small and costly.
This time, passion fruits are very expensive. A kilogram is 10,000. How many? 10,000 a kilogram. Yes. A kilogram is 10,000 because it is totally off. The season is off for passion fruits.
Because of the season, this pawpaw I sell it 7,000. It is expensive. Now, customers are affording this pawpaw at 7,000. It is very hard for them.
Despite the high demand for foodstuffs, vendors raise the concern about the declining number of customers compared to the previous years.
It is the Lent period and again Ramadan. Things doing with the customers. Customers are coming, but again they are not coming so many as they used to do in the other seasons. Because fruits are also scarce, sunshine is too much, and things are expensive.
This market has a variety of fruits, such as sourshops, beetroots and guavas. People are directed here to come and buy healthy fruits. I suggest for customers to buy them when they are still in good health.
Until of recent, the price of groceries and vegetables have been on the rise all over the country, a trend that is attributed to the changing seasons.
This place would have been packed with foodstuffs. However, I think the supply has been affected by the change in seasons.
Dennis Tigoa and Daphne Alisarirwa for UBC Business.
For decades, Uganda has steadfastly depended on imported vehicles, a notable portion of which operate on diesel or petrol. However, this narrative is gradually changing with the emergence of electric vehicles and motorbikes, gradually making their presence felt on the Ugandan roads, with even some being manufactured locally.
Due to excessive global pollution, mainly from the manufacturing and automobile sectors, 196 countries became signatories to the 2015 Paris Agreement at COP21, agreeing to reduce greenhouse gas emissions. To meet these goals, global carbon dioxide emissions need to be reduced by 45% by 2030 from 2010 levels and reach net zero emissions by 2050, prompting a turning point for the automobile sector.
We are not cutting off even fossil fuel immediately. We are still using it as we are discovering this. We replace, that's why people are talking 2040, 2050 in order to get all the solutions solved using cleaner sources of energy.
Chira Motors unveiled their first electric vehicle prototype in 2011, followed by its hybrid predecessor in 2014, tailored for the African market.
I'm cruising the Kia EV. This is ours.
They also ventured into manufacturing electric buses. However, a new excitement arose last year when foreign companies Nissan and Toyota launched their first electric cars on the Ugandan market. At first glance, this fully electric Nissan Ariya looks similar to its petrol counterparts until you raise its bonnet.
You charge from here, the power goes in. Our power is not really stable and we don't want to waste the batteries.
How much does a car like this go for now in Uganda?
This car here is $57,000 and the other big one is $98,000.
Amounting in Uganda shillings like how much?
About 215.
Most electric cars today can travel over 200 kilometers before needing a charge. But questions about their sustainability and affordability arise due to their price and electric nature.
What we are trying to talk and what we are influencing as engineers is to tell government, you are distributing power, but you need to empower the local person so that he has capacity to pay for that unit. And there is a need also to reduce on the cost of production of that power and the cost of sale of that unit. So it's the government that needs to come in.
2023 had been projected to be the year that electric vehicles take off globally. However, in sub-Saharan Africa, more so countries like Uganda, the challenge of the high cost of these vehicles and the wanting road infrastructure still hinders the growth and takeoff of this sector.
Based on experience, Zembo, a pioneer in the electric boda motorcycle subsector since 2019, aims to produce over 12,800 electric motorcycles, replacing imported petrol ones.
Because it requires big investment. We estimate completely converting the boda industry to electric, based on our monthly imports of around 12,000 motorcycles, petrol per month. Replacing those with electric and building the infrastructure to go with it would be about $40 million USD per month of investment. So someone has to finance that. So I see a big opportunity for the financial sector as well to support us who are doing the work of actually building things and installing things.
Chira EV is already setting up infrastructure that most players are likely to replicate.
This fast charging station converts that AC power into DC power, and then we use that DC to charge the battery of the bus, because the bus uses a battery and batteries use DC power.
However, one may wonder why the informal but skilled fabricators in Uganda are not prominently involved in this revolutionary electric vehicle journey.
Each automobile industry will create over 100 different industries that feed into that. And we have already started at the university to make sure that the engineers understand this, but also at Katwe. And at Independence, we launched our first vehicle, which is a blend of this, because they have something they know, but they need engineering to bring it together. They have the hands-on, which is lacking in the universities, and but they don't have the engineering.
The electric vehicle subsector holds promise not only for reducing dependence on fossil fuels, but also for stimulating economic growth and fostering environmental stewardship. Wadulo Arnold for UBC Business.
The Ministry of Trade has banned the practice of foreign investors who vend products without a license. The State Minister for Trade, Industry and Cooperatives, Harriet Ntabazi, made this directive during a high-level meeting that involved the Minister for Kampala, Minsa Kabanda, the Minister of Science and Technology, Dr. Monica Musenero, immigration officials and other stakeholders while meeting the heads of business traders at Farmers House here in Kampala.
Yes, we don't give tax holidays to importers.
The Trade Ministry's resolution comes at a time when the heads of business traders are claiming that some foreign investors are hawking the products they manufacture.
There is even where you find hawkers, international people are hawking even when they don't have licenses. So we found out that KCCA doesn't give licenses to hawkers. This is very strange. These people are hawking without licenses. So that one must stop. Then those ones who are doing retail and are having factories should also stop. If you manufacture and you are manufacturing at in Jinja, for example, in Kapeka or wherever, you have where to stop. give chance to the distributors to pick from your factory. Then the distribution is done by another sector. Then give the chance to the retailer, to the wholesalers, also to buy from you, who will eventually supply the people from the villages to do the retail and do the hawking.
The Minister for Kampala concurred with the Trade Ministry that foreign investors who are manufacturers should not assume the roles of distributors, wholesalers, retailers.
Era tukakasizza nti mbaddemu obusuubuzi obubadde obwa abeeyita abasiga nsimbi ng'ate bamala bafuuka abasuubuzi, bafuuka abatunzi, bafuuka abatembeeyi ne babeera nga buli kimu bakikola ate nga so balina factories. We are going to meet the so-called manufacturers and see what we are going to do. We also listen to their side. What are they saying? Is it a true information? It's not true.
What we are complaining about is a person who is manufacturing and again doing hawking. So if you are a trader and you are doing trading and that's what brought you, you pay the taxes and compete with the traders who are in the market. But still it is also unfair for you to come from China, you have a factory in China, and again come and compete with the people buying from your factory in China.
Ekitulese wa minister olunaku olwaleero zibadde ensonga z'Abachina abadominatinze akatale kaffe nga bana Uganda bakola ebintu ennamanve ne batutambuza nyumba ku nyumba okwetoloola eggwanga lyonna. Nti ministry etaddewo table kwe tugenda okutuula naffe ng'abasuubuzi ate mu ngeri yemu nabo babayise wano tugenda kutuula mu lukiiko babawulire nti tebasaanidde kutambula nga batambuza ebintu ebyo bwe bakola ebintu babiteeke mu zi warehouse balange ennyo tujja kubasanga ng'ennamanve tubaguleko kati essaawa eno tebakkirizibwa kukola bintu ate ne babitambuza ku buli muntu yenna babeera bamenye kiri kye bayita nti chain of distribution, chain of trade.
We came here for the two reasons: high taxes and also Chinese investors who decided to become hawkers, wholesalers, suppliers of each and everything. So they are not following the chain of trade, and we cannot agree as business community.
These people have interfered with very many things. They have opened up shops. They are competing with the Ugandans. They are manipulating Ugandans to be working with Ugandans, yet they are not.
The heads of business traders have also threatened to strike on 29th March 2024 if the government does not implement the agreed resolutions. The traders also voiced concerns about Ugandans obtaining trading licenses on behalf of investors to help them evade taxes.
And I'm warning the Ugandans who are pretending to be the owners of these businesses. But when they know that they have the backup for the Chinese behind.
This trade ministry has helped us, and we have got a solution to this issue, whereby they are going to intervene in the way these people have come in Uganda and the way they are trading. They are going to help us and guide these people follow the guidelines.
Some of the things we are talking here, there are issues of enforcement, very clear, and we should not just brush them down that they are not happening. They are there. If we are going to William Street and you are finding this is a shop for a Chinese, this is a shop for a Chinese, this is a shop for a Chinese, do they have outlets?
Crispus Arinitwe, Jime Akanshemeza for UBC Business.
Women entrepreneurs in Uganda's tech industry are advocating for more startup capital, recognizing that it's crucial for unleashing the full potential of creativity and innovation in business. However, they also face challenges such as the digital divide, where they are creating products for communities who may not have the means to access them, hindering their impact. Dennis Sigor discussed with some stakeholders.
In Uganda, women are fiercely advocating for gender equality, firmly believing in their ability to excel in the tech sector. Sabrina Atwine, the Chief Executive Officer of Nimarunji Initiative, is among those leading the charge. As a tech entrepreneur, Sabrina emphasizes the significant gender gap prevalent in Uganda's technology landscape.
So being a techpreneur and in a country like ours, how is the landscape? What does it take to thrive? And, because I know we've always had concerns of the cost of data, funding? Because I know it's very difficult for you to just get money from your pocket because you're a young woman. Probably you need support. So where do you get your support from?
A few months ago, 2 months ago, I got an opportunity to be invited by the United Nations at their headquarters at the high-level political forum event. And basically, what we were doing was to review the success of the Sustainable Development Goals, And I was brought on the stage to give a youth perspective. How is it going for us young people in tech entrepreneurship? And some of the views that I aired are the same that I'm going to say now, even tomorrow and the other day.
Because it's something that you go through
every single day. So what happens for young people who have startups in a country like Uganda is that first of all, you do not have funds. Before we even get to mentorship, get to skilling, get to all these other things that are also important, which I think actually are being worked on. If you're to look at the Ugandan sector right now, there are so many bodies that are doing skilling. There are so many incubation hubs. From the public sector, private sector, even in the schools. There are so many programs. But the challenge is that we are having a lot of skilling, a lot of training without any transition. What happens when you get the skills? That's where the challenge is. Even Nimarunji itself, we've been struggling because of lack of funds. Even when you have the idea that has potential to impact lives of so many people, children, women, you are challenged by lack of funds. What happens is that we have accelerator programs that usually come with funds. They are we have a grant that we are going to give, and then the application has over 1,000 entrepreneurs, but then they are looking for only one person who they are going to give, for example.
While dreams are becoming a reality for some women today, there are still significant challenges faced in their strive to dominate in fields traditionally viewed as male-dominated.
So when we come to women in technology, so technology is a science, right?
That is true.
Yes, so when you go back to the time when I was at university, we had a class of over 140-something, and we were 30-something women in the class doing computer science. So you can see the gap starts from school. We never used to love chemistry, physics, whatever. We don't care. It is hard for us. We want English, tell the stories, lie here, lie there, write
simple
something.
Stuff.
Simple stuff. And we've been groomed that way. We've been pushed that way. You find people don't even... the time I was at school, a long time ago before the dinosaurs, those days when I was at school, they you would find even teachers are not putting an effort on telling us, you can do it, That career guidance part of it has failed a lot of our education system. So even it was not happening in the early 2000s when we were at maybe early primaries. It was also not, it is still not happening now. How many schools have career guidance? Motivation, people who have made it in technology. Bring them, show them to the people. There are very many careers in technology. Now me, when I was joining university, I was only driven by, we have a computer teacher at school, and I loved computers so much, and I was I knew what I wanted, by the way, because I was very fascinated with this machine, and we would go and play games, and that was the most interesting thing that used to pull me. And I'd asked my computer teacher, what do I do to become like you? And they told me, you go to school and do computer science. I came, producer, the papers, computer science, day, evening, because it's what I wanted to do. But now there are people who don't have a chance like me to ask the computer, and we're shy to speak to our teachers. So at the end of the day, we tend to think sciences are hard, and now technology also falls into it.
For me, I look at women as potential. I look at women as assets. I look at women as a market pool itself, But the challenge is that these women are still even with the advancements, there are still so many inequalities. The advancements that we can see when it comes to like women equality is really in centers like Kampala. That's where you will see that, you know, women are empowered and what. But if you go deep down in the villages, women are still having issues with accessing services, accessing education, having freedom in their families, yeah? They are still doing unpaid work. And all this goes back to education. If they are like educated and they are able, like low dependency levels, because you know low dependency levels also affect the economy and the development of the what? Of the country. And let's agree with together, women make up actually a very big what? Population, yeah? So now imagine, with that like big population, they are all still low, yeah? They are not earning because we are having an issue of gender division of labor.
Prosi Wanyana, Innovation Lead at the Innovation Village, echoes Sabrina's sentiments. Both young women in business believe that supporting women's ideas and offering programs to help them build their businesses incrementally will lead to their success.
Yeah, so like there is this gap of, as I said, women not being trusted with a lot of things, but at the end of the day, when you find a team that does not have women, it's chaotic. That a business that doesn't, we are fast thinkers, quick thinkers, put things together because we have a lot of things to do. Women tend to make small monies work. They think beyond food. They think in the future. Women's thoughts are futuristic.
Uganda boasts of a thriving entrepreneurial ecosystem, but it also grapples with a high rate of business failures.
Look at Uganda, most of these businesses are really small, small enterprise businesses, and we tend not to keep books. Yes. So you find they know I lent in Mama Nandu to salt, I gave her credit, I lent so and so. They know them on in the head, but they don't have it written. They do not do balancing. I went with 50 shillings and I bought this and this and this. I've sold this, now I've got a profit of 100. Yes. So like the data, mostly data is the one that is failing most of the businesses here. And when it comes to women juggling a lot of things, like I have to make sure the kids are eaten, I have to make sure the house is in order, I have to make sure there is food on the table.
By providing opportunities and support, young women in the tech industry aim to not only bring their innovative ideas to fruition, but also contribute significantly to the growth and success of businesses in Uganda and beyond.
As a person, I genuinely think that if we want development, if we want growth, if we want sustainability, if we want development, if we want to like have long-term solutions to our society problems that we've had for so long, investing in women is definitely one of the big things that we need. Investing in startups like Nimaronji, spearheaded by women.
An interview with Sabrina, you've heard from, I would say, the horse's mouth about how the landscape of techpreneurs is in this country. And for the youth, I'm so sure you've been enlightened.
The third edition of the Private Sector Foundation Uganda Women's Day Katale was hosted in Jinja City this week. The event sought to empower hundreds of women from the eastern region with the necessary skills and knowledge to thrive and bridge the existing gaps within the women entrepreneurship scope of Uganda. Laura Nagaba reports.
The Women's Day Katale is scheduled for Friday, March 15th to 17th at the Dam Waters Rugby Ground in Jinja will offer numerous advantages for participating women entrepreneurs, providing them with a platform to showcase their products and services to a diverse audience.
But I think Jinja is going to be the best because I see this as the tourism city. I see this as the entrepreneurs city. And what we're praying is we want all the ladies, all the women in Jinja, all the women in Kamuli, to come and see the showcasing of all the women entrepreneurs in Jinja.
The city leadership is optimistic that the tailored business clinics and individual interactions with experts will equip women with invaluable knowledge and skills essential for business success and growth.
And financial support. Most of them would like to expand, to grow, but they don't have the capacity because most times they just borrow from banks and they are not able to sustain their businesses because of financial support and also market for their products. We have women who are working on these craft things. They are quite a number, but they don't have markets for that. We have women who are making porridge from different pumpkins, porridge for babies, but they don't have markets.
I also have a number of women groups I know of that are involved in production, for instance, of soap, but they are doing this on a very small scale. They do not have, the machines that they can use to produce quality, to make quality products, but also be able to produce in bulky, because the more volumes you produce, the higher the profit.
Investing in women is not only the right thing to do, but also a critical step for economic development, says Apollo Muyanja, the project director lead farm structure at the private sector umbrella body.
We have enlisted the participation of over 250 exhibitors. Some of these exhibitors that are coming are looking for distributors in Jinja and in the Busoga region. Some of them are also looking for franchisees. So it's not just a question of them exhibiting their goods and services. This Katale Season 3 is coming packed with business opportunities.
The event will run on the theme, Bridging Economic Divides for Women's Prosperity. This initiative is supported by Young Africa Works Lead Farm Structure program that is implemented in partnership with the MasterCard Foundation.
And we work with men, we work with boys. And I was telling them, even with the funding that we get, we have to show how much percent is going to women, how much percent is going to men. So that aside, I feel I'm celebrating women. Men started now crying, oh, we are facing domestic violence, this and this. So I said, oh, let them cry. We have been crying for centuries. Let them also feel how is it like to cry for gender-based violence.
It seems to be the season where banks are well financed with liquidity in form of loans ready for disbursement to interested customers. But as the weekly Business Roundup team, we encourage you to make a personal assessment of your debt stock, credit worthiness, and capital alternatives before you decide to venture into new debt. Otherwise, thank you for joining us on this episode of the weekly Business Roundup. My name is Wadulo Arnold, and from the team, we must say goodbye.
UBC, inspiring Uganda. This weekend on UBC.
But before